Short story writers, good evening. Today's quote today's prompt may seem a little strange, but it does have its grounding in real life. And what I want you to consider is someone who claims to be a massive fan of the Beatles, Elvis, Humphrey Bogart, Napoleon, Julius Caesar. In Korea, there's Admiral Yi Sun Shi. Pick someone from whatever culture you belong to who is legendary and about whom much is known, and yet may have another side to them. But what is peculiar about your character is that your protagonist, well, it could be a sideline character, has adopted some legends which are untrue, and most people know them to be untrue. So an example would be somebody who thinks that we'll take Napoleon, okay? Because he's been dead long enough, I'm not likely to offend anybody. But believes that he was the world's most fantastic general and that everything he did was correct, and he was not only a great battle strategist but also had fantastic medical knowledge, could recite ancient Greek philosophers in their original tongue, was able to plant gardens with precision in 1 year, and they would end up looking like the gardens at Versailles. Really ridiculous stuff like that, because this person has a need to worship someone or something, and they have picked on this one entity. And this has its basis, in fact, insofar as there have been businessmen who have admired certain generals and their ruthlessness and applied what they have learned about those people to their business practices. The Art of War by Lao Tse, his name may be, I don't know, I've seen it, different versions of whoever it was who wrote The Art of War. However, they have taken that, and people have taken those principles and applied them to the dating world, to find romantic partners, to the business world, to the writing world. And in fact, there's a kind of a reverse engineering type of book called The War of Art. So you're not going to write a story, you're going to build a character, and your characters, if you're writing anything longer than flash fiction, need to be rounded out in some way. You need to give them their quirks, and in, say, a 5 or a 10,000 word essay, it's possible by making slight allusions to the books on their bookshelf, or quotes or misquotes, more importantly, that they make, to give an insight into this person's character. And there are many ways to do this, and that would be one. They misquote Napoleon, they misquote George Washington, they misquote Lenin, they misquote Rastafari, so Haile Rastafari Selassie. That's it. Draw up a character, but base that person's go-to touchstone for guidance on how to approach a given situation, on a lot of misconceptions about the protagonist's chosen historical figure that they admire very, very much, and that person never did any wrong. It could be a religious leader, it could be an artistic leader, it could be a political leader, it could be a sports person. I mean, when I say based on, I mean, how many people have got a T-shirt with what would Beyonce do? There's going to be a reboot of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and one of the characters is wearing a T-shirt that says, "What would Meek do?" Meek Mills. I know of the music. I've gone any further than that, so I don't know anything about the character, about the rapper. But there's a whole "what would blah blah do?" So this does happen. People are consulting their heroes. And how many people also turn up at the monument in Washington to have a chat with the statue of Abraham Lincoln? So it does happen. So that's your task for today. If you can develop a story out of that, that's great. And obviously it will be a problem. Your character goes to their hero and maybe gets some way out of the problem based on how the hero would have acted. So you need some sort of historical event to back this up, but maybe it causes more problems. Okay, that's it for today. Good night.